us to order at 11:05 a.m. May I have a motion to start?
Motion.
And, another-
Y'all got new members in this committee?
one, yes.
One?
Who's that?
Me.
Yeah, Ms. Reagan.
Oh, hi. I don't know if you can see me. Hi.
She actually took her place. She went over to the Department of Aging.
Okay.
Yeah. Onward and upward.
Yeah.
Yes. So proud of you, Madison.
Oh, thank you, y'all. I cry. I miss y'all.
Oh my God.
You're not far.
Are you feeling like that? Come on.
So you're not far.
How you doing, Mr. Memphis? Well, thank you. Access Mr. Nashville this time. Oh, you wouldn't Nashville this time. Nashville was that. So I can go back to Nashville there. But they did have an African American museum, no music.
Oh, you talked about them.
Yeah, okay, so we did the meetings thing, so we had to get started. All right, so we do have quorum. I saw Pat Walker.
Yeah, looking for.
Yeah,
Okay,
she was here.
yeah,
He went next door.
all right.
Senator Jason.
All right, so the district, the district needs assessment is a yearly dance that the community boards and the city and funding and everything else. I see what they did last night in arts and culture, so just ask, I wish we had seen this. To ask them, what do they think neighborhood needs? It's divided into two, one is capital and one is expense. Capital is like any type of construction or building or, like fixing something that needs to be fixed. Expense is, so, they asked the people in, like, he's in the meeting list, and if you go to, Gil sent it out. Did you send it to everybody?
Yes.
Okay, so it's in your email. It's a little lengthy, but the best way to do that is just ask right now, all the committee members.
Sure.
You're gonna make
Yeah, I
it-
seen it. I seen it.
You have to make it.
I'm trying to read everything.
I'm trying to put in for a public membership.
I was getting right, public them,
Public member.
Yeah.
what what that process takes?
So it just,
Are we taping?
yeah.
Okay.
So it's a form. You just sign the form. Like actually, John did one for, I believe, arts and culture, like last year.
Last year.
Yeah, so basically you sign, it's like the list of all the committees, you put your name, your telephone number, your contact. You check off the box as to what respective committee that you're interested in, and then you give it to the co-chairs of that committee, they review it, and they say,
Or I didn't see. it.
Oh, I did that last night, I gave you the.
We didn't.
okay,
We didn't see it last night.
what, you didn't see it?
Yeah,
Okay, no, I'm saying for arts and culture, I know he did one.
yeah. He said he did one for you.
You did one
right?
for
I did one for seniors, arts and culture, and
You said you gave it out last night?
Housing,
no.
landmarks.
Youth education life.
Education,
Oh,
okay.
that's my other.
I did it for those three last night.
Okay,
And I
okay.
gave it to you.
Okay, so alright, so we'll connect.
Okay. All right, so we'll go around the room and just take a total what we think. Now, personally, what I'd like to do, which is going to segue into the next topic. I want, before I do that, let me go out of order. Good morning. Good morning, sir. I'm glad you're here today, because you need your input. Okay. All right, so, well, you're not drinking this. Oh, the district, you wanna sue and do all that, how many pages is that?
I would have to then zero in on just the section that contains, that pertains to
Can
you.
we do that?
Yeah, I'm,
Alright, cause I thought we could just go through it and then after we speak with it. thing.
I know I kind of switched with the format, so it kind of like.
Yeah, like.
Allow us to change the order of it. I think, another way, what CP10 did, the CP10 meets in a senior center. So their seniors at their meeting, they don't, it's not like they have to go to the other senior centers in the area. I'm sure that if anything happens, they come to, with 146th Street, yeah, from me. Anyway,
He's a senior.
go ahead, please.
Frank, senior citizen center, they're always people there.
Yeah.
They're like in the mornings, cause they go in, they're pretty much, active over there.
Have you been there lately?
Jackie Robinson,
No, General Grand House.
but isn't that called?
Just Jackie Robinson.
Jackie Robinson, sure, yes,
You haven't been in a while.
no, I haven't been
You
there.
know, they lost their license
They
to
did?
operate. This was earlier this year.
Wait a minute.
Okay, yeah,
I was contemplating that because I did see the truck outside
yeah,
and it was doing like the pantry thing.
yeah.
Oh, but I didn't know
But
that.
no, it's now, Orman, Richard Orman, who came to.
ARC.
Yeah,
Oh, my goodness.
they're his organization, which is.
ARC, I forget what that
ARC,
stands.
exactly, ARC.
What is ARC?
It's an organization, a nonprofit that manages senior centers. Kind of like TSS, Manhattanville is another like organization.
Different from ARC.
Yeah,
Cause we have Jackie Robinson, Manhattanville, Convent, which is, they call.
I forgot.
And then, 152nd Street again.
Yeah, Hamilton Green.
Okay, Hamilton Range is,
Yeah, pass on the card to everybody.
so they're, yes, they're operating, I think at the end of this month,
Okay.
so.
it was just reopened that, I know.
They did?
Having a meeting with them next week.
We also gonna meet with him also. So I thought maybe we could, either one or two things, and I need consensus on this. That we could go as a group to one of their meetings. And just introduce ourselves and let them know who we are and, when we meet and, what issues do they like to discuss?
Correct.
Or we could see if we could have one of our regular meetings there, instead of meeting here. We could meet at one of the, and then also 3333 has an ad hoc senior thing, which is not connected to the Department of Aging.
Okay.
So that's really 5.
Oh.
And then what's her name from Lilly, Life Force wanted us to come to their day too, so. That's 6, so 4 are contracted and 2 add-ons. What y'all think, what do y'all?
So then each month there'd be a different location for.
Well, I like to maybe 1 meeting here, 1 there, 1 meeting here,
Yeah,
1
there'll be a lot of
there.
confusion.
Yeah, that 4 year, cause people will come here and they won't know.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah,
And the
so,
library's ruled out?
which library? The library would be perfect, but they don't start until 12 o'clock. We have to change our meeting time. Now, when I first started with them, I think they were open, I think after they did the renovation, they changed the hours. So, yes, here's a year, right. And so, that would be perfect, if we could be there all the time.
Yeah. You can't convince them to keep open it for us?
Possibility,
That's a good question.
possibility. But then we still have to get the seniors there, so they have to know that we're there. So we still gonna have to,
permission to do it and then you can send out.
well, it might be,
But it was a good location, you said before.
It's perfect.
It is.
Yeah, try
Yeah.
it.
It really is, it's central.
Yeah.
See, we here,
Right,
I mean, this
that is
little
good
hill,
location.
Yeah.
this little hill is not the
Yes,
best for people.
that's right,
walking and
that's right,
wheelchairs.
that's right.
That's perfect, and then walk in, you got elevator, go downstairs, come up fast, so.
Ask them to get open a little earlier.
But now
You can't hurt it.
That's a
Can't hurt
good,
to try.
that's a good.
We could think of going from 12 to, I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
Well, the originally was 11 to the 12:30 because the seniors that were coming at one time, we used to have a lot of seniors at the library.
Right,
They wanted to go for their lunch, the breakfast at the centers.
exactly.
So, it was in and out so they can get into where they were going. But, COVID did a number on us. They took all of the people that was coming to the meetings, all of them that were coming.
Yeah.
So, that's a possibility, you okay now?
Yeah, about the library.
Yeah, possibility, right. Second one would be to, I just said, Vanessa and I believe, so if anybody's available, we could go to, we did that with, Arelis, when Arelis, she spoke Spanish. And it was such a boom, it was, she walked in and it was a group of people playing dominoes. And then there was another group playing dominoes, but they didn't speak English. So I was talking to them, and once I finished, she went, and they were so attentive, you know? It was really nice, so, and we did up the street, we did, a convent. And I went to the 152nd Street just to give them flyers, I didn't meet them, there was nobody there, really, thing. But, that's a, like, that's an option, so. Either beating them off the cuff and keep our meetings here. Or see if we can meet there, or see if we can go to, back to the library. So,
Get some more people, the library is.
I went to the library.
Yeah, the library is confusing.
Yeah, I went to the library. I wouldn't dare say, I went to a good location.
Yeah, it's really a good location.
Yeah, then you go.
And everybody knows where.
I mean, I can't hurt the house.
Yeah, and see the hours, I was contemplating,
all right.
like you said, like 12 to. I like that. See what I'm saying? So, I like the people, I'm a citizen, so I like this part, I like her. Because like yesterday, I thought I was,
Hello, that's fine, so.
Oh, sorry. We should go. We were just. And I think I was done yesterday.
So you prefer 11 or 12?
I prefer 11, I mean, yeah, no, I do too, but yeah. But it's all according to what the hours of the library.
Hello, Heather, just wanted to say hi.
You're such a jolly guy.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Thanks for
And-
joining.
And yeah, thank you for having me. Have you all also considered the Hamilton Grange Library? I know you normally, or you used to meet at Bruce, but what about Hamilton Grange Library? Because they are open earlier.
Aren't there, that's a possibility, but aren't there steps there to get in, is it, with chance
They have an elevator too.
to get from the street to the place?
Yeah.
It's steps, so they can get in. Thank you, we'll put that up as a possibility also.
Okay.
Did the meeting start?
Yes, we did.
We're discussing
Oh,
something.
yes, we did.
Should
I
input.
have the agenda.
Oh, yes.
You didn't pick it up? Right there.
Oh, man.
Don't forget to sign, did you sign?
You see that right there, this game, but it's very primarily for 64 years. That's that generation, this one. The earlier generation of work. What? And he was getting them all. Well, it was just a news. Whatever referring
The
to.
uniform services.
Obviously, look.
And I also heard that there,
My dad was giving to my mother.
from, Luther, who came in too, talked about a budget and how much money we choose to spend. And based on the meeting, the general meeting we had before, they were saying that we should put in a voucher or something like that based on how much money we're gonna spend. I thought that would be apropos to the fair.
Well, see, you mean,
Yeah, to the fair and based on the money that you wanna spend or whatever. That a budget that this has nothing to do with the city state. This just has to do what's in the budget and how much of that budget that you wanna use.
that's fine, but we.
And that it has to go in, and you were saying that that vote should go in today. Because it's gonna be brought up in the general board meeting.
Well, we won't know,
On the
It's waiting on you.
District, I'm just.
I didn't get a chance to get up to that.
Are you talking about the
You
district?
don't want it yet?
Sorry.
Have you called this meeting?
Yes, I did.
Kept that in mind. Sorry, we got arms.
Were you talking about the district needs assessment? Do you, that we have to, that's the one.
Hello? I'm in a meeting.
No, district needs assessment, no, there, from what I understand, that there's supposed to be a.
We talked about that last night.
Yeah, all the committees.
All of the
have to do
committees
it.
had to do it.
So that's what it
So
is.
maybe I have it wrong.
No, that's what it is.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's on the agenda.
Okay,
Normally, what they did last night was they asked the people in the room, and our feel is pretty out. What they did was ask the people in the room, what did they think the community would need? Now, there's no get, it's between capital, which means that when they need to build something or fix something, anything that just like handy stuff and expenses. So they need more money to serve more people, they need more money to decorate, finish their place off, the stack out for events or whatever.
Oh, whatever is
Yeah.
applicable to your committee.
Was it three issues?
Whatever applied to
Yeah.
your committee.
It's capital and expense, yeah,
Capital and expenses, yeah.
yeah. Each committee heard for it.
Good, good.
Each committee in the board, that's on the agenda though, if you think we did that. discuss that. What they did last night though was everybody in the room gave their opinion on what they think the community needs. And I'd like to do that here too. So if anybody could chip in and there's nothing right and there's nothing wrong, just spit it out, Always go with senior housing.
That's, and I said mental health. Yeah.
Well, now, how you make it more specific?
I mean, cause what's going on in the community,
Yes.
affects your mental health, the issue
What you, with a center or an organization or what?
overall.
No, but they talk about
That's a good point, because
overall,
I'm gonna bring up something to the general board meeting
Hold on.
about that.
Well, be more specific, would you like for a certain center to be funded for or establish a new, because there's a lot of things coming up,
Right, I was contemplating like some program that initiates from, some kind of program.
I got you, what about funding for mental health?
Right, things of that nature.
Coming to you.
Bring it under this now.
Everything's affecting our health. You know what, I just wanted to say.
Hello, Hotel. Are you coming in on the Zoom?
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna be honest, but it's not that effective.
Are you on Zoom?
I'm not late.
Are you here?
No,
No, we're here, we started already, just go to the Zoom link. Well, it should, we're here, there's people on the Zoom.
Yeah, but you need to get
I don't know, I wouldn't know how to.
And the father.
Yeah, there's a, yeah.
And there's no reason to have to do that.
Minutes from
In
last.
fact, I was.
Are the minutes from the last meeting?
No, you weren't in minutes.
Ran into St. Joseph Church.
Hi, Madison.
Ran into St. Joseph Church. Boom, 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 boom.
Hi. Hi, Pat. Hi, Reverend Colwell.
Hi, who am I talking to?
Off the street.
Madison.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
How are you? Hello, Heather as well, I saw you that.
Went into the sidewalk.
Well, we can decide what you-
I was talking about next month.
And that's the fact.
Oh.
Person in the car, so.
Okay, we're gonna come back to order, so your hand up. Do you have a suggestion?
We're talking about the district needs assessment now.
That's kind of first, so you think, funding for a bookstore?
Oh, probably not all of it, but I mean, yeah, I think.
Well, yeah. Yes, it would have to be funded, because this is money, is either capital money or expense money.
Yeah,
So you're saying capital money for a bookstore?
well, I don't know if it would work, I think.
I think it would work fine.
But I'll say, for non-profit. Things.
Well, that would be, because it's a nonprofit agency, I mean, we're not big,
Well, I mean, I don't know if the books would work, but it's not a nonprofit, right? Yeah, nonprofit.
It's not a
and we won't be able to fund it.
Yeah, it's a for-profit event.
Yeah, it have to be, if you want city, state, or federal money, we wanna talk about federal money. City, state money,
Yeah.
it'd have to be something that's not for profit.
Yeah, yeah.
That, by the way, is an issue. Some people across the country are talking about refusing to send money to the federal government.
That's another
Good idea.
that. So,
I have a suggestion.
yes,
I've just thrown it out.
Please.
For our seniors, because this is what we're talking about, right, in this committee, that during these winter months, they, being that they suffer food disparities, that is there some way that we can offer a fresh produce kind of program where, from our listing that we got from I call it the fair, I'm sorry, that we could offer maybe some kind of package or something and fund them so that it could be brought to their house. God, yes,
so you mean,
it's just service, yeah.
but that would, you mean for us to initiate that, or an organization to do that?
Yeah, for us.
Yeah.
Even if we distributed it to the senior programs like WOW, which has a group, or
Yeah.
or distributed to a senior center that once a month we would drop a package off and they could just. That, you know what I'm saying?
sounds
And I'm not saying, you know, however you wanna do it, but I think that.
Try to put that in a sentence, establish, hold on. Go ahead, you want to say something first?
Yeah, I wanted that.
Go.
Okay, I agree with Pat's suggestion. They do drop off goods. Right now, West Side,
Food,
Food,
yeah.
and they used to do it at 33 Third Street, send boxes. I don't know if they dispense with that, but they used to do boxes that
That
they
is
used to
true.
deliver.
And how
to
regular?
Once, they used to come once a month.
Uh,
And it would come every month to that location for the recipient named. And they would then come down to the lobby and pick it up, cause I used to keep them and let them come and pick it up from our office.
Right.
So if that is something that they would initiate again, because they used to do it already. But I think they now just have you coming to your site. And since they open up this big new site in 101st Street, would that be able for us to initiate them actually delivering
Fresh produce,
produce,
yeah.
everything to this area again?
Wouldn't that be like, if you said it goes to specific things, wouldn't it be like,
Right.
home, what's that thing?
No,
Yeah.
it was fresh produce.
To a specific person, though,
Yes.
not to a group of people.
No, but all we have to do is list the seniors that need to have that package delivered or dropped off, so that they can do that.
So when the seniors have to register or
Right,
require that.
we would have to furnish them, we would have to furnish a list of these are the individuals that need every. What's that?
Go to
To to have that, I mean, I'm just writing off of what Pat said, yes, to drop them off, especially during the winter
You
months.
okay with that?
Yes, yeah, if we just open it up and whoever signs up for it, I'll
Okay,
help it should be there.
I would say, I'll say, it's fine. West side, what's it called, west side?
West Side Campaign Against Hunger, is that the correct name?
For fresh produce, which is what I'm pushing for because of this.
No, they still do produce in the bags, they do pepper.
They do,
Yeah, they do, yeah,
West-
Oh, that's.
yeah, they do, it's all French food.
Yeah, yeah.
Or another organization,
Mhm, mhm.
I will read it when I finish, and you'll correct me, be willing to, then we all want the food dropped off here,
No, at the sites, they're different sites.
Yeah.
or at the senior center?
If you drop them off,
Centers or her building, my building, whoever's at the building, that are not.
Oh, okay.
But they used to do this anyway, that's what I'm trying to say.
Used to.
This what,
Uh,
I don't know what happened.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get, all right.
Well, let's not talk about that, we'll be here all day.
No, I'm trying to put it down. I put everything I'll say, I'll put down. This is, I'll drop off. Food and healthy food.
Yeah,
So.
and there are people that might not be, I'm glad you said it like that, because there are people that during the winter, they can't come out, these people have back operation, knee operation, hip operations, and they're not coming out at all.
So I would.
But now that, this has to be something that the city is gonna fund. So remember, this is something that the city funds.
Oh, that's right.
So they may have to fund it through an organization. They won't fund it to us directly.
But that's.
That's fine.
What we would add is that they expand their reach. Right, so that they're already
Well,
doing
let
this.
me read this, and then you'll chime in. Find out if Westside Campaign for Hunger or another organization will be willing to drop off healthy food at people's residences.
Well, can I?
Yes, jump in.
So two things, because Ms.
Or
Fenton gave us
centralized.
a phone number. I think it would start with us calling out and finding out what and how they do this. And what criteria has to be met for distribution. Right, and I mean, it's a good idea, but then after that. After we find out what it is they will do, then bring it to the committee and saying. Where is it gonna be dropped? Right.
Takes us to the source. I'm so glad you're here, Madison. Madison?
Madison is.
Okay, did you hear what we just were talking about?
No, say it again.
We're doing our district need. They're saying that they would like for an organization to, refund an organization to deliver healthy food to people's residences. Is that something that's doable? Cause they were talking about like West Side Campaign for Hunger, as an example,
For a centralized location.
or another organization.
Or to deliver to a centralized location where our people from this committee can distribute in their neighborhoods.
That sounds feasible.
So either at the residences or at a central location.
I mean, we do the congregate meals at all the older adult centers, and then we have home delivered meals.
Say it again, Madam.
I said we have the congregate meals at all the older adult centers, and then we have the home delivered meals.
So what we're talking about is not feasible?
It is feasible, not through them.
I'm not 100% like understanding like what exactly you're at.
Well, we're doing our district needs, so I'm just taking.
Oh, the district needs. Okay, so like what you're trying to like propose, like
What we think the community needs, so.
Fresh produce in the neighborhoods for seniors who have, during the wintertime, cannot come out, that have had hip operations, knee operations, back operations. These people cannot walk the icy streets during the winter. So they don't get a chance, and they are suffering from food disparity or malnutrition as a result. And we get a centralized fresh produce delivery once a month
those usually come from like pantries and stuff, and those are like nonprofits and things like that. That's not us. Like all the pantries and stuff throughout the district is not. We have nothing to do with that. Even though they're at like sometimes the older adult centers, it's not through us. But those will be through nonprofits. But a lot of the nonprofits get city funding, but not through us. We don't fund them. That would be more like Department of Health and Mental Hygiene.
Can I comment? I'm trying to raise my hand, but I don't see the function. It's Heather. Yeah, can I comment? Meals on Wheels it is a good organization to deliver door-to-door meals for seniors in our community. And I believe they do receive city funding, so you can ask as a statement of needs to increase funding to Meals on Wheels for, additional distribution of meals to, seniors in our community.
I like that. personally, I like that. What do you?
They call it something different up here. It's not Meals on Wheels up there, but
It is.
It's the same, and I think they even have a location here in I think the Adam Clayton Powell building or something. You can look it up online.
It's our HDM providers.
So they're fundable then, right?
Yeah, they're fundable. They receive New York City funding, and you can just ask for an increase in their funding.
But I was like, I wasn't thinking about that because you guys were saying like fresh produce, like they deliver like meals, like it won't be like vegetables and stuff. Like they'll just deliver the meal. They're not like a grocery like delivery kind of thing. It's just it's the meal itself. So the entire congregate meal. So it's already prepared and stuff, not like produce and stuff like that.
Vanessa?
That's important to some, homebound seniors who aren't able to prepare meals for themselves.
at home, yes.
All right.
So wait a minute, how much money are we?
Hold on.
So what I was going to do was piggyback off of what they were saying. Meals on Wheels and God's Love delivers meals that they have all of the staples that you need, fruits. They try to get.
Yes.
That's something that people have to sign up for to receive. And as far as, so it's two things. Those would be the things that we would encourage, but those are the things we go to the senior centers or we do our flyers. We want to find out your input on having access to Meals on Wheels, God's Love We Deliver.
The seniors have it.
Right, we wanna find out from the seniors, what do they need?
Right.
And that would be the Meals on Wheels, God's Love We Deliver versus produce that two people out of this group may say I can volunteer to take this stuff or distribute this stuff, and then I don't want to distribute it and all that. I think that is putting us in an area where we're setting ourselves up to fail.
Right.
When there are other things that are available.
Listen to one sentence.
So
Now,
into
for findings, for increase, even the West Side Story.
wait a minute, hold, can I ask a question?
Well, I'm no.
We're talking about this one. Which one are we talking about? How much we get?
That's a, what's he prints the.
Yeah,
that's a good
Hakeem is
question.
printing out
He's
one,
printing out
but
our section of the.
that's our
this-
section.
yeah.
But everybody got it, it's in your.
It's whatever is the city,
You didn't.
it's in, it should have been in the email.
So that's,
But it's not, I just.
It's under Hakil.
Oh, Akio.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's it.
so that would be, I'm just spitballing again, that would be increased funding to God's Love We Deliver, because that's the name of the one that delivers up
Yeah.
here.
And
And that they would include, once a month, fresh produce. Increased funding,
That's-
so that
so
they
you
would
want them to
be,
come twice?
No,
So
so.
different entities.
You want that?
I'm sorry.
that's two different entities.
I'm coming back.
Yeah, so, go ahead, Pat.
I'm sorry, your hand's been up a while.
Okay.
What I was gonna suggest is that I like this idea and I'm glad that we're talking about it. But my thinking was instead of just going with one organization, can't we say we partner with organizations that serve all of us? It doesn't have to be one organization, it could be various organizations that serve us. And I wanted to tell you that. I can send you this by email if you want. Yesterday on New York One, there was a report, City Meals is helping older New Yorkers feel less alone. And in the
I see
program,
on that.
you saw that
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah.
And they were showing how there's people who come to the house, and I think they come daily. So that may not be once a month, but whatever sources or resources are available, can we tap into that?
Yeah.
And find out how to make that more active and see the.
And readily available.
And readily available.
Okay, I can create, so
It would
Fund,
increase the 10.
Meals on Wheels / God's Love and Deliver.
And City Meals.
I got that one ready.
And I.
No, I don't.
And I think you
Fine.
can put,
Correct.
West Harlem on there too,
West Harlem or West Side Country?
West Side Country.
West Side.
I found out, I
And
can't,
God's Love be delivered, and what's the other one?
City Meals,
West Side Pantry.
West Side Pantry, and God's Love.
God's Love We Deliver.
God's Love We Deliver is,
Not God's Love.
that doesn't, I mean,
The size of
God's love.
west side what? West
And
side?
Meals on Wheels, God love Belinda, City Meals.
Oh, actually, I got God's Love We Deliver, City Meals on Wheels, West Side Pantry, anything else?
God's love we deliver.
And we need to tap into the resource we have here already. Lily does exactly what that.
Lily, that's the,
They do provide individuals to come into the home.
Yes.
And to be companion. I recommended a young lady in the building just recently. They came and they cleaned, they moved our bed, it's moved in 99 years. You know, they really help what they normally cannot do anymore.
Right.
And so we cannot forget to include Lily and see how they can outreach also.
So really, do they have boundary though? Is it just a?
We're
in there.
155 to 110?
and Lily is the one that, excuse me for the cut. Lily is the one that I was talking about, that, during the course of a week, I think it's once a week, they have fresh produce.
Yes, they do.
They have fresh produce that you can pick up
Okay.
and can be that. See, I thought about it and I found a few of them, but you know, I'm an old lady. You know, I'm settling and I'm trying to do this gracefully, okay? So I know that I can't do what I used to do before.
Okay.
My body is saying, no.
All right, so the
Yeah.
point is that.
With Lily, what I did with Lily was, I went and signed up and explained that there was a need. They have a webpage. And it's a centralized location and they accommodate our community.
Okay, so for
And
Lily,
once a week, they have fresh produce. I mean, great
So,
amount.
you also fund, increase funding for Lily?
To provide food to
The
community before
service
it's done.
that they provide, they're the only one that's right.
We'd like to give increased funding
That comes to our community report.
so that
They're increased.
increased funding
Yes.
for fresh produce.
So,
Yes.
I see.
and home care. Okay, so so there's two issues. Thank you, sir.
thank you.
It still is gonna require outreach first to these different entities to see what they provide, how they provide. And then also reaching out to the senior centers to find out what the needs are. And then there's a collective group that do not attend senior centers or senior action committee type thing. Where maybe we get flyers to put in the neighborhood and say, if you're interested, use this email to give us your information.
Mhm.
I personally would stop short of recommending to anybody, having anybody come into their house. I would put the information out there to say, and this is also available
Yes.
for them to make that decision.
Yes.
Okay,
So, too.
being that I interact between those two, the Department of Aging. Puts great limitations on what can be done in those city centers and what we're talking about. And this is one of those limitations.
Okay, so what
You
we
know?
need to do, stop, because we're getting too long in this conversation and we have other things that we have to go to. I think maybe that
Taking every comment,
Yeah.
taking down, so.
the beginning place for us is to find out what they offer to a survey of seniors. Because all seniors don't come to senior action committees or go to senior citizens centers.
You hit,
Then have us as a collective make flyers and put them in our building, in our neighborhood.
Mhm.
And have them reach out to us.
Now, before we get really off to cheesy. We have all these things, it comes from the Department of Aging Design.
Mhm.
So, as we have to contact the agency, the city agency itself. To say, yes, this is what we like funded.
Yeah.
What do you think, that's being Vanessa with. And so we'll find out what they can fund, because they have budget limitations too.
Right.
Remember now, and I wanna use that word so bad, but I cannot. The person like Whoopi says, you know who, yes. it's cutting money to the city, especially if Mondani wins. So,
Oh, yeah.
we have to take all of that into account, limitations of what money's gonna be available, so. We're just putting that in, and remember the other 50 community boards also has district needs, so all this, the whole city with the, and not only the community boards, but individual committees on, so it's gonna be hundreds of requests, so.
So,
But I don't care, let's put it out there.
if I can ask Madison, are you there? Maddie? Because if unmute Madison, please, if you can. Because the one agency, because I did the research, I'm telling you, one agency that is in here is Lilly. And if Lilly is a part of the city, under that city, head guideline, it goes directly back to fresh produce. To people who can, those other agencies, I know that these don't interface, but as a minister, we provide it. That's one of those services, if they don't get it from the senior center, as ministers, we make sure that they're gonna get assessor ride. Food needed in the house, make sure they get their appointments, make sure that their medicine is delivered to their house, we do that already. But what we need is fresh produce. Madison, come back.
Okay, the next thing on the
Yes,
agenda.
that's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Is there anything else that we think that
Madison and Lily,
Liz, Wyatt, good to see you.
and Lily, can we
Hello, Will, good to see
interface
you
with
as well.
Lily?
I can't hear you. You said Ken Lily what?
Does the city interface with Lily so that we can get some of their fresh produce?
I'm not sure if we do like the fresh produce, because that doesn't fall under our purview. That's not in our portfolio. All the fresh
That's what I'm
produce and
saying.
stuff, pantries, that's under the Department of Health, not us.
Oh,
They're the ones that do the farmers markets, coupons, and things like that. We don't do that.
okay, thank you,
Yeah.
Matt.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We put in, I saw you all in Australia, we didn't get yet, but that was an agenda, we put in for the healthy folks. I think, cause we did it last year, this is our first time, so we got it during the summer, but we put it in September, and he sent me back that was, if we're in, but we don't know if they're gonna. We'll see, I haven't gotten any notice or anything right yet. But we're coming. Okay, all right, so what's next? So is there anything, okay, people live in houses, anything, this is why I really need to reach out to the community, because if you live once we went to, rent houses, and they were talking about some repairs and stuff that haven't been done, that was on the table to be done, and had not been done, like, I'm talking about like people's ceilings, mold or something like that. This is why, so when we reach out to the individual centers and talk to the individual seniors, they'll give us an even more idea of what they think, their expenses and of things that need. Not everything's gonna be funded. Remember, NYCHA has their own process, there's gonna be a takeover of NYCHA, the
Yes.
federal government takeover of NYCHA.
Really?
Yes.
But it's.
As well as the prisons, in prisons too, Yes, so.
Can we ask all the individual buildings or sites? Do they have someone that is designated only to their senior population?
Yeah, each end building in the state.
So that grant, and the other
Well,
one,
it'd be nice.
has that one, I'm just using that, the whoever's underneath it. Do they have someone in their office that deal with just their senior population and their needs? To somebody over at 33 have someone in their office that deals with their senior population solely. The reason I'm asking this, the same thing that you just mentioned, their needs are never really seen or completed because they don't have that advocacy.
That's right.
So if they have someone, we can ask, do they?
They have attended.
No, don't forget that. I'm not talking about a tennis organization.
No,
I'm
they never
not-
invited
advocacy.
person, yeah,
I'm
they-
talking about somebody. I said,
Yeah.
But they need to be in the office,
Right.
in their office, like they have somebody who write down all the maintenance fees. They have somebody who does this part. in their office,
That's right.
do they have someone who take care of their senior population? Ours is 185.
Somebody take care of your people? Yes.
Hello. Like
Yeah.
I said, I'm not in their office, I'm not in their office,
Right.
so I don't do house meetings or whatever. I do other things, but I don't go and make sure that the maintenance man came, that he fixed whatever. Is they still dealing with an old refrigerator? Did they give them a replacement that was full of roaches? I mean, these are things we are seeing and hearing.
That's right.
But if they had someone on their office, I mean, they employ people just to ask the question.
From that to that, I think it's a solution for that. But before that, we would
Okay.
ask our external, not member people, what do they think?
Walter.
Showtime, what do you think? What would you think the community would need?
Well, I think this is a really productive conversation. Certainly, everything that's been mentioned is relevant. There's a lot of need for really. My own interest is in mental health for seniors with dementia.
Yes.
Yes.
That's very.
And that
We do
is-
have,
And then
funding
it's
for mental health programs.
there's in the Black community, if you're twice as likely to have dementia than a white person if you're over the age of 65. In the Latino community, you're 1.5 times more. And people in our communities, in the Hispanic and Black community, are less likely to get diagnosis for their loved
Oh,
one.
And
Grandma's just getting old, she starts to forget stuff. So that's, when you said mental health,
Yeah.
that's where I go.
Yeah.
Although I don't know that that's a practical ask.
in this context, not in this.
Not everything, any and everything. They can only tell us no, you know?
Because, but what you're talking about
That's right.
covers all of that.
That's right.
Because if you're having someone in a position of authority in an official capacity who deals with senior issues, then this goes very nicely with that.
I think mental health is a critical issue. Walter,
I'm coming to him. He's next.
yeah, because could you ask him about?
That's a good question. First and foremost, you have any ideas that you think from your encounters with the seniors that come to the library, something you think that they complain about or would like to see done better or improved or?
I like all the ideas you presented, and I feel like this is the best connection I have with seniors is attending this meeting. I mean, certainly they come into the library and I think we're able to. I don't know, they don't boast of a big source that I think they are to you and that you've been raising here. Like they come into the computer classes and help them with that. They come to their recertified religion and we try to help them with that or steer them to where they can.
That's important.
Yeah, but I guess I don't have anything that I think supersedes your suggestions.
Right, something I'm thinking about. Well, 1 second. Something I'm thinking about.
Okay.
What about cause do you have is there a shortage of computers or a shortage of?
We just got new computers, so.
They must have did something with the library, must increase their funding.
I'm not sure, but yeah, we have all the computers, so we're good there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question.
I had a question for him.
What happens to your old computers, or are they too old to refurbish to allow?
I don't know what the IT department kind of comes in and talks about and takes them away, so I don't know. I assume they have some sort of recycling program, but
I know.
yeah, they're not, the old ones aren't even at the branch anymore, they're.
Right, we take them.
Yeah, I'm sure they do something responsible with them, but
We're gonna.
But the earlier,
She wants to know if we can meet there and would they be willing to change their hours once a month for us to meet at 11 o'clock here?
I can check, I can ask with Janelle, manager, I'm pretty sure she said that all meetings have to stick to like the library schedule.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's unlikely, but I'm happy to ask.
Okay, and then the other
And
option, the other option would be us, if we're allowed to meet there at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm confident, I think there might still be a little bit of paperwork, to meet there, but I, as long as it falls within the hours and we don't have any other schedule conflicts, and like right now, I can't think of anything else being around that.
Question, I'm sorry, this might take us off a little bit. I have a senior who has sight impaired.
Okay.
And she was in need of services, she has a computer. Took a long time to get it there, but she has one and do you offer services to someone who is basic? I would say she's a sight impaired, but she can't see. And also to help her deal with her smartphone.
Yeah, so, sorry, I'm just running into to myself to ask my manager about the meetings.
Okay.
So we have computer classes at the library and some of them include basic like phone help with devices. So if she has her own devices that she's comfortable using and that can be brought into the library, like I don't know whether she has a laptop or a desktop, she could bring in a laptop, she could bring in a smartphone. And we'd be happy to try to help her on her own devices there. If she has trouble making out other devices and she's trying to practice on the ones we have at the library, there is a library downtown called the Andrew High School Library. It's for people who are vision impaired. So they have all sorts of devices that
So basically, she would have to go, which was once known as the lighthouse at Chicago. Their library.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't, as long as I've been at the library 4 years and it's always been at high school, but it might have had a different name. It's, or the Braille and Talking Books Library is what it used to be called too.
Yeah.
But she can certainly get resources from there. I'm sure that they also have computer classes there. But you know, if you have the device that she's able to increase the size of and she's comfortable using, she can bring that to Georgia groups too. We just don't have any devices that besides just kind of having it on a little bit, like we don't have a keyboard that has like no
Attention to someone who might be sighted.
right.
They have software, they have software that would increase. Because we had Brenda, who's.
Yeah, I find
Blind, yeah, they have software that enlarges it so they can actually read and do whatever they
or
need
like
to do
screen
on
readers
on
where
computer.
yeah, the screen reader software will
Yeah.
basically read aloud what's on the screen.
That's what we talk.
Yeah, so Andrew High School would be the best option for her because no, I definitely don't know it and I haven't heard anything from my colleagues about being familiar with it, but I'm sure Andrew High School has classes on how to enable that on devices and things, so
Yeah.
that's something about that is like.
Okay, we're gonna get back on track.
Yes.
Our Q brought over 2 pages of things that were submitted. In addition to what we just added. We will take a look at that at our next meeting. We will follow up on what was said. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
I want to segue into the next topic, which I end this first topic. Visiting the senior centers. Now, as a group, I need group consensus on this. What do we think we should do? And we. You have to leave.
No, I have a question. I don't want to disturb you.
There's no problem. There's an equal consensus on it. Would the group be willing to meet and have one of our meetings at one of the, actually 6? They at the 4 aging centers and the 2 ad hoc centers, which 33 annually, Lisa, please come there too. Would we be willing to like have a meeting there, meeting there, or will we be willing to go as a group to go speak to the powers that be, right? You start with Matt Engels, let's say, street, and see if we can talk with, and what are their things, instead of bringing everything in there. Now, it depends on availability. I'm retired, so I have time. I don't know about everybody else, but people have lives, they got things they're gonna do. So 1 or 2 of us, or 3 of us, or 4 of us, could go to the center and address, I did that with CB10. They called me over to talk about some of the stuff we were doing. They're coming over to us too, to see some of the stuff that they're doing too. But they meet in their senior center. What's that, Jack? Yes. 146th Street.
On the east side?
Yes.
Phil Randolph.
Phil Randolph, yes.
Monthly meeting in a different place every month.
Not every month. It would be a month, a year, a month, because it's 6. We have 10 meetings in a year.
Okay.
We've already done this the second one, so we only have 8 more meetings. So I would say suggest, it would be suggested. a meeting here, a meeting there, a meeting here, a meeting there. But now, meeting, let me finish,
Okay.
meeting there would entail, we have to do all of this stuff too. Now, I have a laptop, so I'm sure we can do remote stuff and do the same thing. Because we can't like not have a meeting, not let the people know that we.
So a different center every month.
Every other month, yes.
That's what we agreed on every other month.
Who agreed on it?
We did.
I do need a group consensus on that, or we could, a couple of us can go address them individually, with their permission, we could come in to talk to, Laquita, wasn't it Laquita?
Yeah, like when
We the love.
Yeah,
At one point.
yeah.
We
Can we come in to talk to the seniors about what we're doing and can we?
I would think go to the centers and address the community issue as a group.
So
That's
the-
my suggestion.
Well, if we can go, if we can go as a group,
Yes.
or whoever can go.
Yes.
I like that, that's what my.
I like the idea of every other month.
Okay,
That we all just have, because I have a life. And I have things that on my calendar is not gonna allow me to meet with this one, that one, and this one. But if we include it with what this time that's already slated that every other month, we pick one, I'd like the next one to be Lily. As a matter of fact, since they're the ones with the fresh produce that we were sitting and talking about. Right? That next month we meet at Lily and all of us just have the meeting.
I think the only issue with that is we still need to establish communication with whoever the POC, if it's at Convent, at all of these other places first, before we can say, hey, team, we're going to go here, or there. So
that's
that
doable.
would, yeah, that's.
Yeah.
It's just a phone call and confirmation.
Yes.
You know, when we went to the centers the last time with the relics, we let them know that we were coming. So they knew we were coming and they were very glad to see us.
Yes,
And we addressed the body. Only thing is, I have no person that speaks Spanish now. So maybe I can get somebody from one of the other organizations to come and speak and on behalf of these people that don't speak English.
Well, you know what, communication is important, just like Vanessa was saying, because if you recall in the last meeting, there were representatives from the league. And they talked about, I think, and please correct me where I'm wrong, if I'm wrong. There was an invite for them to come to one of our meetings and present or something like that, but if we're going to do different centers, I don't think it should be random, I think it should be a schedule.
Oh, well,
And
listen to that. That's doable. That's doable.
And with permission, I agree, with permission from them.
So where would be the main dates about, where would be the main meeting place? Outreach, different centers. but-
This would be the main meeting, this is the main meeting here. So we would, if they're saying Lily, we'll have Lily in November, so we will contact
Where
Lily.
is Lily?
Right there, 100 and between 110 and 111.
Oh, yeah, that's my area.
See, well,
That works.
so we asked them we visit, and their seniors are gonna be there at 11 o'clock in the morning?
Well, no, they would actually get a group, a focus group.
Very good, very good, okay?
Really, they are the agency that goes to individual homes.
That's
So they
right.
don't have a group like we do, you know, that meets and govern them. What we would see there is Miriam, Pat, Paula, and some of her workers.
And none of the seniors,
I'm saying as a core group, because they go out
yeah.
to the individual homes. So, Mary Jane from Columbia, who volunteered, maybe going to Joe Blow's house, or Sally Sue, maybe going to Mary June house. You know what I'm saying?
And
But
bring
they,
them to the meeting?
no, but they may not be at the core meeting. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They have workers, like if you had a caseworker. Like
Right.
I said earlier. Yeah, and advocate for those, right, and they go out to reach their senior.
Right.
But the seniors themselves might be few and far between because you're forgetting their focus is on later life.
Right.
So we're talking 85 plus, or at least 80 and over individuals. Some of them are do better than us with kids.
So you do you think the staff themselves would be able to answer like what they think their needs are?
Yes, because they are personally involved with these individuals.
Which goes
Yeah,
back.
but that's the, you probably address it, but you can, they may have some seniors that want to come to that particular meeting and speak, but it wouldn't be like you would be meeting their clients.
Can I just bring something up? I got a quick question. Related what you're saying in terms of the counselor dealing with the seniors. And we also maybe have planned a special night to introduce ourselves to the counselors. Because
Night?
or afternoon or whatever, you whatever, or
Senior group.
okay, right, whatever time. But the point is to introduce a special one where we tell the counselors what we offer. So that they can, you said they're going to the seniors and they each have their caseload, correct?
Yeah, but then you'll be able to do that, you would interface that at our meeting with them.
Right,
You would interface
but so they know
that.
about us and they can tell their
Oh,
seniors.
yeah, because they have representatives that meet with us.
Okay,
Well, I gotta,
It's here all the time,
okay.
and then sometimes have Paula on there.
Got
So they already have, representatives in.
Got it,
in-
got it,
yes.
got
I
it.
got a
So we
solution.
do that.
what about if they came and spoke at our general board, 'cause that's the evening? They had the 3-minute thing, they could get up there
Yeah.
and say,
However, we can type the connection. I mean,
we could invite them to come.
If they come, we need flyers and brochures so they can, the seniors can remember the phone numbers and
We
stuff.
can work on that, that'd be good, I mean, we maybe even do it by next week, but I'm not sure. But that, they, hold on, they. Why? Where's the wrong?
And what's
But that's a good suggestion, but we would invite the orbit, like, invite them to come and speak, because the general board, there's people from all walks of life, there's everybody. So that would be the best place for them to let them know what services they provide.
That's true of this whole district. That's the only thing I want to bring up here. That there are very many differences between where I'm coming from and further north. That they all have different issues. So
Yes.
the thing is, we really need to find out from them, like we're saying, what they need, not imposing agendas on them. Because there's a real difference here. And sometimes I don't know how to respond to everything.
Yes.
Because it's so different where I live. You know, all these professors and stuff. You have older people, that's true. But I think they all have different sets of needs. And I do think in my area, a lot of it is mental health, you know, rather than fresh produce, I mean, it's, you know, loneliness
Loneliness, yeah,
is a very big issue, so, you know.
and that's.
It doesn't answer.
But
And
if you
that's why
can
this
get
whole
into that
thing goes out.
Okay, one at a time, one at a time.
I'll sit on the room.
Go.
You go ahead, I'm sorry.
And that's why that founder actually got that organization together, because she saw the mental health problem, she saw the loneliness, because most of her clients don't have extended families.
Right.
They live well, they live long, but they live alone.
Right.
So that was a key
Yeah.
for her doing what the service she was doing.
Yes, that's very important. I mean, look, the longer you live, you start losing people too.
Yeah.
Maybe even lose children, you know.
That's exactly right, that's what I do, what I do.
Go with Pat first.
Well, that's what I actually do, and my focus is on octogenarians. These are people in their 80s who are not gonna make the meetings. They're not gonna come out to if they are tired and just don't feel like it, they're not gonna log into the Zoom. Octogenarians, people in their 80s.
They wouldn't know how to do it anyway.
No, I know, I have people that I meet with regularly who are in their 80s.
Savvy about it. but-
Oh, the ones I know, one set.
Gonna piggyback.
Everybody, wait, one at a time, one at a time.
I was gonna
Well, that's
piggyback on what Pat said, because a lot of senior citizens are at home, can't get out.
Yeah.
So that would be feasible to have somebody that they could connect with, that's all I'm saying.
Okay, so I'm gonna put a motion on the board. Motion is that we will have our next meeting annually. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All
Pending your
opposed?
approval.
I will, yeah, and I'm gonna let you know. All opposed? So that means the next meeting will be, I don't know where their office is.
113.
I'll contact them right after. Yes,
113 where they do a lot of their dance or whatever, so that might be their key meeting place.
well, they'll tell me.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
That, I
I'm
just
gonna call them right after we leave this.
Yeah.
And let you all know. So read your emails afterwards, okay? All right, what else we got on the agenda?
Okay.
You good?
So, we.
All right. The health clubs have been applied for. I got a response that we may or may not get them based upon the availability. But if we miss up this year, they rest assured, January, we will have our application in. Quick fast and hard. So don't put the time, oh yeah, the meeting date, November. Actually, only if I only even read. I say, get my time.
A lot of these phones been messing up.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Just send me some.
Right.
Yeah.
We were running in to get the coffee and so I didn't,
Oh, yeah.
I see it now.
A lot of my messages, some evening voicemails, I might not get to 2 or 3 days later. Cheapo people. Metro.
All right, I'm gonna just, that's what I'm doing.
Been down.
Okay, November, okay, here we go, there's a dilemma in November's meeting.
What?
November
That's
fourth,
election day.
November 4th is election day.
Right.
November 11th
It's Veterans
It's
Day.
Veterans
is
Day.
Veterans Day.
That's true.
Whoa.
So do we meet the Monday before election day, the Monday before Veterans Day, or the 18th, which is the third week?
Is it, I'd say the 3rd week, cause Monday is my day of rest. Sunday is work day.
Yeah, so
I work-
118,
I work the polls, so I wanna be rested.
118, okay, anybody else suggest?
18 is the only of those that I can even think about.
18, well, that's 218, anybody else? 318, all in favor?
Ah.
Alright, now I don't got trouble check with them, but if they just, we never had this situation.
Yeah, November 18th.
18th is a Tuesday though, right?
It's a Tuesday,
Yeah.
yes.
So listen, we
Wow,
can
that's-
18
that's-
again.
There you go. Maybe 18, we gonna jump time. Alright, is there any other new business? Any old business, did you contact the lady from the Bunker Housing? I gave the police officer the information. There's a new unit, and I can't remember the unit that handles smaller things. Oh my God, they do the, do anybody remember?
If they would have to do this.
Yeah, but no, there's the mayor put in, that's all the communities, they handle smaller. And they used to break the districts into A, B, C, they don't have that no more, so the one policeman, but they do like quality of life thing. Is I forgot what they call it, I spoke to them about your issue, and they gave me a specific name to contact.
Really?
Yes, I send it's in your email.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so that for your specific situation,
Right.
and they're supposed to be able to address that
Good.
direct, yes. And we'd like to get some feedback, if you contact them and let us know what they tell you, so if they don't follow up, we can follow up with them.
Gotcha.
And so we else, Mr. Haggis, anything we need to know about?
Just like I mentioned, a few of the programs that we're offering, on the 18th, we have the first production of an ongoing series. A local playwright, Ceci Davidson, who we work with, so her series is called Short Plays to Nourish the Mind and Soul. And she's doing her first one in her new season on Saturday the 18th.
Alright.
3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. We have virtual crochet and chat, that's on Wednesdays, the first already passed, the 15th and the 29th of this month, at 2 o'clock. So
The
that's
15th
over Google Meet.
and 29.
Yeah, but also it's at 3333's
Exactly.
senior center too, so if you want it in person.
What's the,
Then one person
what's
you
the
welcome to
page site?
join.
If you go to nypl.org/events. Or you can also just Google
George Bruce.
NYPL George Bruce, and that will take you directly to just the events at our library.
Do you have a flyer about that 18th event?
I do.
I'd like to distribute it to the Arts and Culture Committee as well.
Okay, I just, we should. They must be on our email list. I sent out.
See, this part, it's already emailed, just be like, just send me something.
Send it to you, yeah.
To the committee, yes.
I just say one more thing, what I'm reading a lot about lately is how many elderly people are being spammed and losing money, people are telling them that they need to give them a phone number, or they're gonna take over the computer. I mean, I think it's a big issue, a lot of elderly are getting targeted, and so I'm just wondering if we could have somebody.
We had, Brad came to our resource fair here, and so I thought that was very.
I don't remember, but I guess.
We're gonna be meeting at Lilly next month, and that would have to be for December.
Okay.
Okay, we can put that on the agenda. Now, I've been reaching out to Cordell Clear, who oversees this, and she has promised me 3 times. And didn't show, but I think we have a better relationship now with her, so she can talk about that as well. And we also have contact with our 26 and or 30 precinct. They have somebody that can come in office.
Specializes.
Yes, so if you wanna put that on the agenda for December, that would be.
Can we recommend or couple it with anyone who's having computer classes? So they can actually have them in and know how to not use this if that's asked, or not use click this if that's asked.
Yeah.
That would be phenomenal if they're doing a computer class, cause you know why I'm saying that, Columbia sends the students there. And we have to take it at least twice a month. Whatever's coming out new, we have to spend that 3 minutes. Yes, no, how to recognize them. And if someone could do that while they're at different classes, seniors, that would be most helpful, because that's when you hit them. It hits them on the phone or if they're on the computer. It shuts down the computer, and some funny looking thing, they invade the computer at some point, and you can't cut it off. You know, these are things that happens to seniors.
So wait, I can back up. So the November 18th, this October, November 18th meeting you want at Lilly?
You can say your grandson's in.
It'll be November 18th.
I'm just talking about anybody.
I'm saying the date, because we just said that the date's gonna be November 18th.
Right.
But we have to clear that with them, that's okay, but usually we meet first.
Okay, I'm not talking about the problem you mentioned.
I just saying, but in order to get to them in person, we have to let them know that we want to. Do you have somebody coming to get this specialized computer, like?
We rely on this, I take some of the classes and 2 of my coworkers do. That, cybersecurity isn't one of the ones that we offer right now, but like usually the library has an IT department that kind of teaches, not IT, it's called Tech Connect, it's basically technology training. And they train staff at branches how to lead different programs. And we haven't taken one on cybersecurity, so I'm not sure we're well enough versed to like be the teachers of that topic. We do have a
He keeps texting you?
Somebody say something?
I can see if Tech
Oh
Connect
shoot,
has-
am I on?
My manager wants us to be trained by.
Yes, you have to.
But these are the issues that we really, that ransomware, that one that came up, it happened in my computer. But my son was there. And my son, I said, fix this, and he fixed it. But he has worked as night suspension.
Is when you
And
see
that was
something
key.
funny
It
happening,
would have taken me out.
disconnected from the Wi-Fi.
It would have taken me out of
really?
communication.
Really?
Disconnected from the Wi-Fi?
Immediately,
Okay.
and don't reconnect it for maybe till at night or the next day.
Why did you do it that way?
Because they're infesting, they're coming through the Wi-Fi to your
Oh.
actual. So you're pulling out immediately.
Okay.
May I please say something as a 25, almost 30-year IT professional? What you just said and what you just said
Yes.
is concrete evidence that we need to have some sort of information out there, because what you said is not completely correct.
You know,
And what you said was not, that's like, no, none of that, and I sat here quiet long enough for the IT stuff. That
No,
ain't-
no, no, but I did do that.
Yeah, but if you've already got a notice on your computer, hey, and you click the button
Right.
or you click the link, then you're already there. So disconnecting from the Wi-Fi. Right, right. If something has come up, okay, it's just like with your phone. I drive, but I don't own a car. You get the notices on your phone that this is the last time we're gonna contact you
Yeah.
because if da 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 da.
Yeah.
Click here if the link doesn't work.
Never click.
Now,
Never-
when you
never
read the text,
Yeah, we got it, yeah.
it's not an infection. When you click the link,
That's
that's
what
when it's
affects.
an infection.
Yeah.
So it's a
Reagan.
big difference. Oh, it's gonna pass it to her. So it's a big difference from disconnecting. Disconnecting just means that you're not available now. Doesn't mean that I'm not gonna come back and try again.
No, yeah.
We need to,
But that's where we need to discuss this.
Yeah.
You can also get infected by visiting an infected website.
well, that's a
Then we
part
have
of
to
it.
discuss
That's,
And we need to know more about that.
the gist of the conversation is there are a gazillion ways to get infected.
Yes.
And there are ways to not be infected. So there needs to be a conversation. Maybe we
Yes.
need to create a brochure.
How good.
Maybe we need to have this information available
Yes.
so that when we go to these senior centers, we
Yes.
can provide it.
Right.
So it's not the blind leading the blind.
Yeah.
It's what's there.
Yeah.
And it's not just fun.
It would also be
It's
great, I
antibiotics.
guess they want to do that during the senior fair next year.
Right.
Yes.
That would be a
Have
great
the
thing.
information
I think that's
So
important.
those are things that,
They
that
expand.
are needed for seniors.
People do not that.
Senior center.
They are.
Just do that session.
The thing about getting infected.
But no, that's
And that's why you can't click
But
on
like I
it.
said, come to send it to the students
That's true.
periodically.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, you gotta take this 5 minutes, whatever, and all the new stuff, post, and you gotta go through that. If you don't take it, you remind me, spend another 20 minutes.
You can go to Grant's website.
I don't think like this.
Somebody.
I didn't click anything. And because that this is the issue that we're talking about, and that I find, because I do communicate in our community, I find that the seniors, like their illiteracy is not, is rare.
But I have.
Literacy, I mean, in the community is rare.
All right, so we're gonna,
Yes, we are.
And then I want to.
All right, since we Tony, you wanna say it? Everybody, hello. Would you like to say anything?
No, anything specific, I need to say, thank you for asking.
Get a vote.
Okay, can I have a motion to close?
Hi, Friday, right?
Second.
All right, motion accepted. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Next meeting is November 18th. I will,
November 18th.
I will get to you on,
You verify no.
please read your emails. Please read your emails, because that's how we're gonna know whether we're gonna be meeting.
That's true.
Right.
It depends on whether the availability is there.
Yeah.
If that doesn't work, we're gonna pick another place for December. Okay?
Right.
And remember, we only have 10 meetings in a year, so we can't, we may not get to all of the places. So,
But that was,
okay, but we're going as a group, that's okay.
that's good.
By our next meeting, we're gonna have a new mayor.
That's
Yes,
right.
we will. Yes, we will.
No, we got a lot to talk about.
Yes.
Oh, yes, we will. And if we have, who I think we'll have, I think
I know, but I think that IT discussion that we mentioned, that was really good, Vanessa. Excellent.
But that's like, would you think you could get somebody from IT to get please?
She can do it.
She can do.
Or you can do it
She
yourself?
said she could do it.
I'll get somebody.
So, last night, I was almost
Last time.
I was going to invite you stay over and thinking, over to your house. It's really, yeah. No, I just, you all went under the impression I was sick. And I wasn't. I just went. But if the next month, rather than going all the way back to Long Island, I have a comfortable couch. Long as I'm not allergic to cats.
That's what I was gonna say. It's got a cat.
I know your cat,
Oh, she's a sweetheart. No problem.
I have no problem with that.
Have a good day, y'all.
Low collars on their necks. And I say, snap they so they said they can recharge. Oh, it was so darker. And my next door neighbor had his dog who was looking at me. I'm like, I want one of these.
That's what I wanted to show you.
Yes.
I see it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying.
I mean,
Like mine, out there.
Who is that? Me and him? Watch us be together for a minute.
So with my service, I get like emails, not email, I get messages that say, this, your password is compromised on this one. You have to change, get a lot of those.
yeah, that's not what.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you use for antivirus?
You know what, I have AT&T provides me package.
Oh, yeah.
And I think what I forgot what it is. Something, Shield or Shield Guard or something like that.
Okay.
And so that when it's going to. You do it, Tony.
I need a, you are. Door.
It's actually warmer. I'm looking now, are they? But and that's AT&T. See there. So now I got to figure out what Twitter. I was like, you know what?
It's not
I
something
may
I would
click on
want.
something and they may have a link to Twitter. So that's what it's telling me that I have to.
I do want to get married.
I'm right on her line. I mean, that's the other guy you want.
Like right now, with him, I'm like 70% sure.
Oh. Now. You have a laptop or a desktop? I have a Chromebox.
He knows
Yeah.
that.
Do you know who the service is? I don't know. I'll have to know. Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Hi, sweetheart.
Strategic planning.
How are you?
Yeah.
How'd everything go?
You waiting for the bathroom?
His cat is waiting for the bathroom. Somebody's in there? Someone's in the bathroom.
You sent that email, right?
Are you serious?
To you, yes.
Okay, so, let's get together and do something today, okay? Where are you at now?
That's gonna be October 16th. Okay,
why don't you, cause the meeting just ended, so I'm getting ready to go. Do you still wanna go to Yonkers today, or would you like to sit another day? Okay.
I didn't know that the federal government was taking over. But it has been.
I can imagine. I wanna do something, and I'll do it.
Like I said, this is not interesting.
All right, and you know, and I might go like money, that's nice too. But you know,
I'm gonna start.
figure out something. The lady said, "No, do you just to get out?" Oh, no, wait a minute, you gotta go to work today.
I can go to the executive meetings, think about that.
Oh, yes. That's the
All
start.
right, you know what, you go home.
Okay.
You need to.
I didn't know, I
It's
was.
a community.
Okay, but I'll say
Second,
that.
I'm only see you next, on the 18th is okay then.
Call me when you get home.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Four days, 30 to 30 days.
For when?
30 to 30, or presentation.
Oh, okay.
You can do it up, but you put it back up.
Each year, what thing?
Yeah,
It's a
so-
brand new, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
The, every year, because we're at WHDC and C's, I think we're required to use it. Right? I mean,
You know, that's how you get your foot down.
yeah, I think it's required. I mean, you may already, I use it. Minutes.
Anything you need from me,
Can
just.
I get one of those flyers for the meeting tomorrow?
Yes, my dear. You know, my house, right?
Yeah, everybody.
Oh, that's, I'll send you an email. It's Lily. Okay, I'll send it, I don't know myself, but you know myself, no, what don't know your face? Oh, well, but I'm sure right now, this is actually. What do you think? It's good for people, it's not people, like us sitting work. We have to,
Right. Right, okay.
I don't know, there's something you need, it's stuff on TV.
No, you're talking,
Yes.
I do not need to cut.
They have the ones that are with this,
Pre-65 without, and the accent.
Yeah.
So that's not you, right?
No, that's it.
Okay, that's the one that got changed recently. What changed? The trend for the pre-65 retirees and the active. This is
Yeah,
the seven.
there's people that still employed, but I see PT commercials, I see something like that, they get fired.
Voted on that last. And people are just.
Yes, yes.
The union head is so worried about baseball and basketball games. I think they're at 371, I keep getting emails like a basketball game. You asked me well. Hey, he had Donnie North fun down here.
75. So he goes and check the whole.
And you're what funny you, what were you, legal people?
Hey, I missed it, I forgot all about it.
I got you.
So the seniors were able to get on and on without problems?
Oh, well, I didn't get a chance, you got to talk to anybody.
No.
We didn't go on something.
No, it's they canceled it?
What Saturday? And everybody that I did, so I won't answer. And they went down wonderful.
I didn't know what Saturday is.
Saturday, everything was fine. Sunday, you know, they were everything out. Not going up until, and not so you know, there's two engines on the boat. One of them broke down or wasn't working. They said they said, well, they could still go. I said, I ain't go.
Something you didn't know, so what happened, girl? I know I should.
I don't know exactly that, Walter, but it's what,
Always
want something, because I don't have a.
I got you. No, I did not.
But it was funny. Okay, they said somebody is trying so that we say that they come from the boat has two engines. One of the engines works. So I'm there, so they had to see from somebody out. They would have to come extra. I was like, well, I had like that. And I just every time they were coming out there. They're not gonna go for it. I said, well, and I don't know why they were even over that. Okay, so it's not, okay, but last night I'm telling you, that one of them goes on my left.
Yeah.
And close, so the engine was on two engines, but I run two engines. I don't wanna sit there, only one was working, so they were saying they could go out, but I was like, I know. So he said to me that the owner of the Colorado market said that it's not gonna happen, and so then we put this in house. Well, we have to talk about them, so that was because we've already paid for this. I said, well, you know what, I said, I'll leave it to discuss, but if you left that to me, I want a refund. Are you involved in the? I want a refund. Well, that was the other option, get a refund, or do an alternate date, this is already October.
You should take it out here for me. Don't take it out here. It's not what happened. I was gonna go on and say this.
I'm very hard.
They brought that up. I just want to wait on getting. So I was thinking, man, that's why I actually had to enter the meeting. I was trying to ask. But so more than one person, you don't have to travel all the way back to Los Angeles. That would make that a really good. I appreciate it. I would love to say it. I watched TV. You know, like.
So this is the only just.
That's the mother of the other side. Except fires and taking and the police.
So, you know, but I'm letting you certify, I'm gonna make it right. Refund.
And numbers would be part of something. Yeah, it's very big. That's one of their also.
On Saturday.
Absolutely.
Now, and they said they will.
They like shooting, they jump shooting with his face. It's like you've been sitting there. This is why I'm going home. I'm the city that nothing else.
But I would know that I spoke to her, and we would have said, I have to not go to another town, then to get on that road, and something happened. That was just what? We all had that. That's how who's the one saying what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think you will. I think you will. He seems like what else, how long he got it. I was always saying, so that's what I'm saying. And when you get out that side, you know, I'm gonna oh, that's the whole enough. I don't like he had, from what I tell you, he was there. Come on, saying. I know. I see that as my daughter. Representing for it. So that's what I was saying. You know what I mean? Then that's it. You got information. No, here, the service, like it's. And if you right outside, he's there. And he's on it. You know, every folks will be about what happened is on. I used to like something that we had no reaction. He's hanging out. I said, I was looking for
So
I'll tell you, 40 people came on the train. 10 people paid. I mean, it was jumping on, jumping on that.
One of my neighbors was this way.
And the people just coming over. But the robo car, right?
Have to go.
It's not why. So I was getting back to clear.
You know, what I used to say, you know, I go, "Street to that, you know, that." Yeah, no, it goes by, Prayer is you guys.
Yeah. That's why I kept so I didn't know, no training to first, I bet you guys gonna expire the secretary.
And don't look down.
I said, this is so that was what I tried time to really laugh. So let me pay like I said, I'm still there. I need the same thing. I'm transferring. Look, and so I found out they wanted to make the car and get out, you know, I found G train station, you're in the front box, you know, like, and you know, what told me, I was from someplace, you know, and when you go that way, I think I like. And the mission of it, so right downstairs, I like that trade.
Really don't have
I put my party, my time, and my time, who said that? I'm up there. Somebody said I'm not using it, so. Don't forget, call Miss Reagan. Call the lady, please, and let me know what's going on. All right.
Damn, see, I'm just finding out somebody can't.
So I don't like putting my.
And let me.
My coffee.
Everything.
Did they stop?
I'm going to tell you everybody who was there.
Did we stop this?
Stop recording. It's no longer recording.
But when you saw everybody, and you know what got me emotional, to see the example.